Of the 13,000 men of the 82nd who went into Normandy, only 5,000 were left on their feet when they evacuated us July 14th. But the beachhead was secure. 4 divisions were ashore and more were coming. Many more. We had done our job. How well we had done it was told by the top man himself. It is to the airborne forces that immeasurable credit for the subsequent success of the Western operation belongs. Back in England, we went into the reserve and relaxed. If you call parading relaxing. Meanwhile, the American and British troops were pouring out of our bridgeheads like water from a broken main. By the second week of September, they had flooded across all of France, Belgium, and Luxembourg, and were seeping under Germany's front door on the Siegfried line, washing up Jerry by the hundreds of thousands. We were beginning to wonder whether those groundhogs were going to roll right over Berlin before we had a chance to jump in. But we stopped worrying when General Jim Gavin, who followed General Ridgway as boss of the outfit, began to bear down on training. We were getting into the act once more. Only it wasn't Berlin. Not yet. The 82nd, the 101st, and the British 1st Airborne were going to drop into Holland. The idea was to use it as a jump-off position for a quick drive to Berlin. We knew how important it was from the way they fixed us up with plenty of everything. We took off September 17th. I guess colossal would really be the word for it. The Air Force had blasted Jerry Ack positions for weeks. The weather was with us. Our pilots were right on course. The drops went fine. The glider landings were almost perfect. Almost. The Dutch pitched in and helped where they could, even though they suffered, too. There was no mistaking that they were glad to see us. The first few days were easy, easier than anything we had tried. Grossbeck, Grau, Moat were ours for the taking. The Air Corps boys kept us fixed up on supplies pretty well. And the British Guards Armor Division came rolling along to back us up with the heavy stuff. We were getting along fine until we reached Nijmegen and the big bridge across the lower Rhine. Jerry figured that bridge was pretty important. So he dug in and fought the way Jerry can when he gets his back up. For 3 days we fought to clear the bridge of snipers and secure the other side. It was a dog-eat-dog fight that took the best we had in blood and guts. But on the 4th day, British armor rolled across the bridge. The Krauts tried hard to get it back. They must have been nuts. No one was taking that bridge away from us. In December, they sent those of us who were left back to France for a rest and to train the rookies. It looked like a good deal until this guy decided to get into the act. For a change, von Rundstedt was doing the attacking. Not only attacking, but putting everything he had into it. He was moving in on 1st Army headquarters and threatening to cut off 4 American divisions. So, Off we went, without winter equipment, overshoes, or shoe packs. In less than 24 hours, the 82nd was moving into position 150 miles away on the northern shoulder of the bulge. Yeah, pretty pictures the snow made. Christmas card stuff. But there wasn't much goodwill lying around. It was dirty, bloody, gut-tearing fighting. And the cold was worse than the bullets. Sometimes we kept moving ahead because we'd freeze if we stood still. Every medic was a hero in that white hell. There were plenty of heroes. Fancy ones. Did you ever hear of Chenoo, where a battalion of our boys ran into a regiment of the crack 1st SS Panzer Division? They had everything. Artillery, tanks, self-propelled guns, half-tracks, and flak wagons. We? Oh, we had rifles, bazookas, grenades, and guts. So, we attacked. A battalion against a regiment. Schofield against army. We won, of course. The Nazi drive was played out. It was our turn. In January 1945, we cracked the Siegfried Line, just to start the new year right. Then somebody remembered we were due for a rest. In April, we came back to the Cologne area and smashed across the Rhine at Hitzdorf in a raid that won a presidential citation. All the Allied armies were tearing across Germany like Sunday drivers. When we crossed the Elbe at Blecky, we could see the finish line at last. But on May 3rd, at Ludwigslust, we won the super jackpot in Heine. 145,000 livelings of the German 21st Army handed to us wrapped in cellophane by their commanding officer, General von Tippelskirt. No wonder our adding machines broke down. Imagine a division of 15,000 troopers taking in an army, a whole army that had everything, from armor to everything. They really scraped both ends of the barrel to keep the war going. But there was no fight left in these Joes. The Nazi bully had hollered uncle. Well, the war was over. From fighting, we switched to parading. General Eisenhower chose us as the American Honor Guard for Berlin. Yeah, we were a snappy-looking bunch, but we never marched better than we did that day in January 1946 in New York City, when General Jim gave us... We were a proud and happy bunch, and with reason. 7 campaigns, 7 river crossings, 4 combat jumps, and 2 glider landings. The folks were proud of us for all that, and proud of us for a bigger reason. The voices that cheered us from the sidewalks of New York were voices that came from all over the country. City voices, country voices, southern voices, western voices, New England voices, American voices. They knew our boys had come from every state, every walk of life, every religion. They knew we had proved to them and to the world that no matter what small differences there were between us, we would march together when we were threatened, that there would always be an all-American division to fight for the American way of life. Airborne,